Let's go through the steps to making a Leaving the Industry claim with QLeave. Remember, only make this claim type if you plan to permanently leave the building and construction industry. Once your Leaving the Industry claim is approved, your registration will be cancelled. If you return to the building and construction industry after your registration is cancelled, you'll need to start building service credits from scratch. Before you start, make sure you've got your supporting documents ready. If you don't provide the correct supporting documents when you submit your claim, we won't be able to progress it. So double check that you have the right documents before you start. You can find a full list of required documents on our website. Once you've got your documents ready, it's time to log in. Go to the QLeave website. On the homepage, make sure Building and Construction is selected and choose Login to Online Services. Enter your email and password, then click Sign In. If you've forgotten your password, click Forgot Your Password and follow the prompts. Once you're logged in, you can start your claim. Under the Service Credits menu or the I Want To menu, click Make a Claim. When you start the form, your registration number will already be filled in. If you have more than one QLeave registration, make sure the correct one is selected. Select the type of claim you want to make. If you're permanently leaving the industry, choose Leaving the Industry. If you're taking leave, we have a separate instructional video for that claim type. When you select Leaving the Industry, some information will appear, telling you what you need to know before making a Leaving the Industry claim. Make sure you read this information carefully before you continue. Then, select the reason that you're leaving the industry. You can choose between retiring as part of an early retirement scheme, genuine redundancy, invalidity, or none of the above. Check that your personal details are correct. If they're not correct, click Update My Details and enter the correct details. Then click Save Changes. If you want to exit the claim at any point and come back to it later, you can click the Save button at the bottom of the form to save your progress. That way you can exit the form without losing anything. Click Next to continue. Check your leave balance at the top of the page. When you make a Leaving the Industry claim, you'll claim all of your available leave. Next, you'll be asked if you want to claim interstate service. If you have an interstate registration and you do want to claim from it, choose Yes. Then fill in the details of your interstate registration. Next, you'll be asked, are the majority of your working hours spent on the tools? On the tools refers to performing building and construction work. If the majority of your work hours were spent doing building and construction work, choose Yes. Next, answer whether you've had the same employer for over 10 years and select your most recent employer from the list. If your most recent employer is not listed, tick this box. This will stop the claims process moving forward. Before you go further, you need to ask your most recent employer to add you as a worker and report your service with them to us. Once they've added your service, you can continue the claims process. If you can't contact them or they refuse to update your registration, you can contact QLeave for help. Enter your usual weekly hours and your hourly pay rate. Then, answer whether you receive any allowances as part of your wage. If your answer is yes, fill in the weekly amounts of any allowances. Select the last date that you worked in the building and construction industry and the region that you performed most of your work in. When you're done, click Next. Enter your tax file number. Then answer whether you're an Australian resident for tax purposes and whether you want to claim the tax-free threshold. Next, you'll need to enter the details of the bank account you want your claim to be paid into. Make sure to double check that the details you've provided are correct before you move on. If the details aren't correct, you might not receive your claim payment. Once you've checked that your payment details are correct, click Next. Now you'll need to add your supporting documentation. The details of what we'll accept as supporting documentation are listed on the page. You'll need to attach photo ID, like a driver's license or passport, and whatever document you're using as proof of your rate of pay. Make sure the proof you're attaching shows your current pay rate. Additionally, if you're leaving the industry for any of the reasons mentioned at the start of the video, you'll need to attach evidence of that. Once you've attached your documents, click Next. Complete the declaration to confirm that the information you've provided is true and correct, and that you've not been paid by your employer for the leave you're claiming. You will also be reminded that your QLeave registration will be closed once your claim is approved. Then click Submit. A pop-up will appear asking you to confirm that your information is correct and that you have not been paid for the leave you're claiming. If you're not ready to submit and you want to change any of the information or documents you've provided, click Cancel to go back and update your information. If you're ready to submit, click Confirm. After you've submitted, you'll see a copy of the form that QLeave has received, and a message confirming that your claim has been submitted. You can look over the form and review what you've submitted, and if you notice any incorrect information or anything you'd like to change, you can email members@qleave.qld.gov.au. You can check the status of your claim at any time on the portal by looking under My Recent Forms. When your claim has been approved, the status of that form will change from processing to completed. You can find more information about claiming and your entitlements at www.qleave.qld.gov.au. If you have any questions or you're having trouble with the claims process, you can contact QLeave on 1300 753 283 or at members@qleave.qld.gov.au.